What is one of the simplest ways to protect Florida's beloved manatees? By slowing your speed.
And boaters speeding through manatee zones in Fort Pierce have been keeping the Fish and Wildlife Commission busy, but more times than not, officers say their speeding might actually be to blame on confusing, misleading signs in the intracoastal.
Not only on 5, Megan McRoberts reports on the changes an FWC officer is asking for.
They're some of the most beautiful Treasure Coast views and where Stacey Gregson has called home
about a month
since he bought a liveaboard sailboat, but in the midst of peaceful days on the water.
Well, you can hear the boats speeding
Through a manatee zone where speeds are limited to slow or idle between November and April to protect manatees.
It just turned out that it was actually just rampant one after the other.
The zone he's talking about is between the North and South Causeways and the Intercoastal in Fort Pierce. In a few weeks, he took dozens of videos like this.
30, 40.
And this.
Like a couple every minute.
Until he was fed up.
Thought I would try to take some action, I suppose.
Sending his videos to FWC in hopes of getting more enforcement.
I think every normal person doesn't want to see dead manatees.
But he also felt there were just too many boats speeding for it to all be careless boating.
I thought that the sign maybe was too confusing.
And at least one FWC officer agrees, sending this letter to the state saying this past manatee season, he alone wrote 28 warnings related to manatee violations and 10 citations. Most of those right in the span between the two bridges. Adding, quote, I feel the majority of these violations occurred because of poor signage. He recommended making changes to 9 signs in that span. For example, recommending wordy signs like this one are made easier to read, with just one big bold message that says slow speed minimum wake, and smaller words about resuming 30-mile-per-hour speeds in the channel between May and November. Or making changes to signs like this one by swapping the message, putting minimum speeds on top, big and bold, and putting small letters across the bottom to say 30-mile-per-hour speeds allowed between May and November.
It seems like a simple start. If people are confused by the dates, maybe put something up that's easier for people to quickly recognize this is the manatee zone. Here comes the sheriff.
FWC hasn't said if changes are going to be made, but Gregson feels it's one threat to manatees he can try to fix.
Why wouldn't you do something about one of the causes you could control?
Megan McRoberts, WPTV News Channel 5.